Hi and welcome to my channel. It's your girl Blake. Today we're going to be trying something new, something fresh. I want to talk about Divorce Attorney Shin, episodes 1 and 2. But to cover it a bit more in depth, I'm going to try and do a video style essay. First things first, trigger warning. The following content contains descriptions and discussions of domestic abuse, including physical, emotional, and verbal abuse. This may be triggering or upsetting for some viewers. Please proceed with caution and take care of yourself. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, please seek help from a professional resource. Brief synopsis into what is Divorce Attorney Shin. In episodes 1 and 2, we meet Divorce Attorney Shin, who crosses paths with a famous radio DJ called Jin, and she seeks his help in respect of her marital scandal. During the course of the first episode, we see that she is facing constant snide remarks on account of her adultery, and it looks like she's been marked with a distinct scarlet letter A. Tainted. Actually, it reminds me of, it reminds me of Game of Thrones. Walk of shame, the walk of shame. Due to her being the guilty party in the adultery, Attorney Shin initially declines to take her case, and I think we can feel his discomfort. His discomfort is almost palpable because she seems so brazen, as everyone kept saying, in her confidence, even though she is the guilty party in the adultery.
이혼 소송만 전문으로 하신다고 들었어요?
예, 그렇습니다.
이혼 통보를 받았어요. 그래서 이혼을 하긴 해야 하는데 잘하려고요? 이혼. 당당해서 당황하셨나 보다.
네, 아니요.
And it's possible that his discomfort comes from the fact that there are so many assumptions and prejudices centered around adultery, especially in Korean culture, and the biases held towards women. Through the course of episode 1 and 2, we dig a little bit deeper under the surface of Lee Seo-jin's marital life and come to find out that her and her son Hyunwoo are both victims of abuse. So the goal of the video is basically to illustrate that these episodes depict a cycle of abuse perpetrated by controlling and manipulative behavior. So what are the cycles of abuse? One of the most well-known quotes on the cycle of abuse comes from the famous psychologist Lenore Walker, who developed the concept of the cycle in 1979. She said, "The cycle of abuse is like a dance, and the first step in breaking it is to recognize it for what it is." This quote emphasizes the cycle of abuse as a pattern of repeated behavior, something that's repeated over and over again like a dance. And in order to break this cycle, it's important that you're able to identify the pattern in order to keep it from continuing. So let's talk about the instances where controlling and manipulative behavior was being used in the drama. During the course of the drama, we learn why Lee Seo-jin decided to start a marital affair, and it's basically because she felt flattered. She felt flattered by the attention she received from a fan who was a chef, who acknowledged her beauty and kept flattering her and paying her compliments. And given her low, I'm assuming she did have some low self-esteem because of the constant criticism that was coming from her husband. I think that is what led her to start the affair. Not that I'm justifying having extramarital affairs, but anyway, I can see the reasons why she felt flattered and how she came to be in an affair. But like she told Attorney Shin,
개새끼 피하려다 쌍놈 만난 거지 뭐.
she went from one son of a to another because the guy she was having an affair with leaked the sex tape, and this is what's led her into the divorce situation. So where does the cycle of abuse come in? During the court mediation between the husband and the wife, we come to find out that this husband has been, if you can imagine, taking pictures daily in both the morning and night of her underwear drawer. He's just rummaging in her drawers, taking pictures and making comparisons between day and night to find out what she's been wearing or if anything's moved or if any underwear's gone missing. So I'm assuming he's constantly checking if she's cheating. So she must have known that she was going to get caught eventually. Okay, so the husband's constantly monitoring his wife's underwear. On top of that, he's installed cameras all around the house, so she's living in Big Brother on a daily, being recorded, even being recorded in her dressing room. Can you imagine? It's like it's a prison, isn't it? Is it like a compound or is it your home? There's CCTV cameras installed everywhere, watching your every move, like the Truman Show.
What? Is he looking at us?
Jesus, do you think he knows?
I mean, not me, but actually I shouldn't say it like that because it's kind of victim shaming if I say not me, isn't it? It could be any of us, that's the situation. Love clouds your judgment, doesn't it, if I'm honest? Love definitely clowns. Love definitely clouds our ability to discern. If someone lessens it, doesn't it? It becomes somewhat diminished because of love. Love is blurring the behavior of our loved one. We're looking at them through rose-tinted lenses, as they say. But anyway, so she's got constant monitoring of underwear. She's got surveillance cameras in her house like Big Brother. And then, to add insult to injury, he's trying to isolate her from her friends and family by requesting that she sends him pictures every 30 minutes. Now that's an extreme level of control, isn't it? She's got to send him a picture every 30 minutes of her life.
어디에 있든 누구와 함께 있든 함께 있는 사람과의 인증 사진을 30분마다 찍어 보내야 하는 상황. 이거 상식적인 건가요? 이서진 씨는 진행하던 프로그램 회식에 단 한 번도 참석하지 않았습니다. 아니, 동사가 좀 부적합하죠. 참석하지 못했습니다. 왜냐? 라디오 관계자들까지 인증샷의 주인공이 되어야 하는 아주 부담스러운 상황이 발생되기 때문이죠.
I think prison's got less restrictions, hasn't it? She's like an inmate in her own marriage. She has to send him a picture every 30 minutes, and then because of this I would say unrealistic, but she's living it because of this, what is it? What's the word? Because of his insane need to control, she's unable to attend work meetings because she doesn't want to put them in a position where they start to feel awkward. And also, it's a bit intrusive, isn't it, when your work colleagues know too much about your love life, especially if it's negative. She didn't want to stigmatize herself. And then on top of that, because of this behavior of her husband, she's losing friends. She wasn't even invited to one of her closest friends' wedding. And I think someone from Canada even came, and she lives in the same neighborhood, but her friends have all been worn thin by the husband's ridiculous monitoring. And if that psychological abuse wasn't enough, he leaves post-it note on the refrigerator, on the mirror, on the vanity, in a drawer.
초대 손님 어린 놈만 나오면 그냥 환장을 하는구나. 에? 다시 듣기 너도 들어봐. 들떠가지고 짓거리는 게 얼마나 천박한지. 일단 속옷은 네가 번 돈으로 산 거지? 너 어디 알바하니?
Constantly belittling and demeaning her. It's really offensive, isn't it? So I think all of these instances show emotional and psychological abuse. Wow, it wouldn't really be an essay if I didn't throw some quotes in here. So let's sprinkle a bit of quotes in. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, controlling behaviors are often used to gain power and maintain control in a relationship and include monitoring, isolation, manipulation, and intimidation. Now, the thing that's important to remember is that there's no one way. It's not a one-size-fits-all like a majority of Korean fashion. Relationships and abuse in relationships aren't that clear-cut. So each situation can be unique, but there are certain patterns of abuse that can be labeled. It's definitely clear in this scenario that the husband was exhibiting controlling and manipulative behavior. Even though he's discovered that his wife had an extramarital affair, there's no justification for the cameras, the underwear monitoring, the 30-minute picture requests. It's just abuse, flat out abuse, and there's never any justification for it. In addition to all of the other instances of abuse that I've mentioned, we later learn that the father attempts to control the wife through the manipulation and intimidation of his son Hyunwoo. So what does he actually go and do? If you can imagine, he starts to groom the child to prepare him for his interview with the court therapist and guides him on what he should say or what he should draw. So when he meets the court therapist, he draws a picture that kind of isolates his mother. I think he drew her as a fish with sunglasses and said that she's always alone. And obviously, the picture what is drawn is to highlight his mum's mental instability. Can you believe that a father would do this to his child? So it's not just the mum that's the victim of the father's controlling and manipulative behavior, but the son, the little boy, has to endure it too. Let's sprinkle another bit of a quote in here, shall we? Let's line them up. According to Andrea C. Roberts, author of the Domestic Violence Survival Workbook, the abuser's objective is to dominate and control the other person. He or she will employ tactics to exert power, often using emotional, verbal, and physical abuse. Like I already said, we can see that the father used the mother's infidelity as a means to dominate and control the custody battle. And there was a scene when he actually grabbed the mother's hair, and I felt at that point the speed at which he yanked her hair. It suggests to me that this is not the first time that he's put his hands on her during the course of their 7-year marriage. The ease at which he did it indicates to me that she probably also endured physical abuse, and it's not just been purely emotional and psychological torture. Like I said, in the household, the son is also a victim of the abuse, and it's clear that he has been trying to figure out ways to calm his growing anxiety, and he finds that release of stress, his stress relief, is gaming. And there's a part when he turns up the sound on his headphones to deafen out his mum and dad's arguments. You get the distinct feeling that that's his regular go-to to help block them out. We also see that his mum's taken to swallowing pills, so she's self-medicating as a means to calm her nerves too. So the father's abuse is really taking its toll on the family. There's a scene when Attorney Shin has to meet the son, and the son discloses to him that he wishes he had a bad memory, and it's because there's certain things that he just wishes not to remember. And if that doesn't break your heart, I don't know what does. That really broke mine. There was another scene in the drama as well when the son Hyunwoo had a panic attack, and he woke up screaming and hysterical, and his parents went in the room to console him, and the father attempted to call an ambulance, and the son took the phone and threw it and kept repeatedly throwing it. And then we're thinking, what could it be? What could it be that's causing him to do this? And the mum's so concerned that she calls the attorney and tells him that the divorce is taking a toll on her son's mental health, so she wants to call it off. And this is part of the husband's game. It's part of his mind game and tricks to control and exert his power over her, to get her to call it off by using the custody. But the attorney's smart, and from the action what she explains that the son did, I think he was able to discern and determine the underlying cause for the behavior. This comes out in episode 2 because most people wouldn't even think that father would be capable of doing something so disgusting and damaging to their child. But there's a part when the son is telling his father that he wants to be with his mom, he wants to be with his mom. And then the father takes out his phone and forces his son to watch the leaked sex tape of his mom and stating, "This is who your mom is, this is who your mom is." And yeah, he used the video as a means to manipulate the son and turn him against his own mother. And this is definitely psychological abuse.
엄마를 살고 싶어요. 엄마를 살래요. 제발.
너 이거 봐. 너 이거 봐. 봐, 이 새끼야. 눈 똑바로 뜨고. 이게 네 엄마란 여자야. 봐. 봐, 이 새끼야. 알아야 되니까. 엄마란 여자랑 왜 살면 안 되는지 애도 알아야 되니까.
원고, 진정하세요.
I think I should just highlight again that abuse takes many forms, and the abuse that we've discussed in this drama may be different to abuse that other people endure or suffer. But it's important to know that all abuse take different forms, and because of that, they can be difficult to recognize, especially when it's happening over a course of time. So it's gradual, it's not always immediate, it's a gradual repetition of this kind of abuse, isn't it? It's a gradual repetition that's wearing the victims down. Now, we are talking about a Korean drama, Divorce Attorney Shin, but we all know that the abuse that's depicted in dramas can reflect real life dynamics in abusive relationships, and that many women in Korea are facing this kind of abuse. And this is why dramas like Divorce Attorney Shin that shine a little spotlight on these triggering and evocative topics is because it is a reflection of what's happening in society, isn't it? In conclusion then, let's conclude it up. The cycles of abuse depicted in Divorce Attorney Shin are a reflection of the reality of domestic violence in Korean society and society as a whole. Because I know I'm talking about Korean dramas, but I don't want anyone coming for me saying, "Oh, you're making out that only it happens in Korea." Obviously, I'm not. We know it's a worldwide issue, domestic violence against women. And like I've mentioned, while the portrayal of violence, domestic violence in Korean dramas can be difficult to watch, it serves as an important opportunity to raise awareness, doesn't it? And spark important conversations about critical issues. Because unfortunately, we won't be able to eradicate abuse as much as we wish, as much as I'd love to. I'd love it to happen. If I could get 3 wishes from a genie,
O great one who summons me.
one of them would be to eradicate abuse and violence, but it's a cancer, isn't it? It's not, unfortunately. There's no cure. That sounds too bleak. Maybe I should edit that out. But anyway, this is me concluding the video. Okay, so Divorce Attorney Shin is opening up in the first 2 episodes with the heavy topic of domestic violence and abuse in marriages. I thought it did a stellar job. Like I said, I thought I'd try a different format of presenting or talking about a drama using a video style essay format. If you think it worked, why not subscribe to the channel and like, and I'll be sure to upload more content in a similar fashion when oh, bloody hell, it sounds so formal. You know, when you talk to your friend, when you talk to your mate, you just relax, you just have a conversation. I watched Attorney Shin, blah, 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 blah. Oh, gosh, did you see the abuse in this drama? It was disgusting, wasn't it? It was awful. And then when I sit in front of the camera, I'm just so stiff. I want to be able to just relax in front of the camera and be all chill with you and just have a heart to heart and spill my guts. But it's like a barrier comes up between me and the camera, and I find it exceptionally hard. And I guess some part of that is humanizing for me, but in other sense, it's like, why don't I like or watch your channel? You're not entertaining, are you? I guess I'm not. I don't know. We're gonna find myself. I'm gonna find myself on YouTube. Gone off on one, haven't I? But anyway, the point is, I feel a little bit stiff, and I don't know how many videos I'm gonna have to make before I break down the walls that are confining the real me. But please join me on the journey and we'll tackle it together, won't we? And in doing so, I can promise that when the real me arrives, we'll set this thing on fire. And until then, ciao, annyeong.